something. So Tales of the City is by Amistad Maupin. In the Library of Congress, the headings are City and Town Life Humorous Stories, okay? But if you know the book of the author, you know that tags like gay fiction, queer fiction, GLBT get at what it means to actual people who care about this book, okay? And that's something that you don't usually get in traditional subject headings. So this ties into an earlier presentation, which I actually didn't see, but I've heard about. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll get to it in a moment. So here's a problem. Here's a problem tag. This is magic. This is Harry Potter books. It's academic studies of magic. It's coin trick books, right? All mixed together. Okay. This is even worse. This is leather. So this is you're quick. Leather-bound books about leatherworking and a certain sort of erotica. The solution, here's another one that subjects do very well, that tags don't. This is a very hierarchical subject, right? All these different levels. How are you ever going to get that in tags? No one's ever going to tag something to this degree of specificity. Well, the answer that we have, and I think it's a partial answer, is to do so-called tag mashes, where you say, give me books that are tagged France, World War II, and fiction, and kind of weight them together. And the list is actually quite similar. So Suite Française is on the top of each one. And good thing to do. You could also say France, World War II minus fiction. So take away the fiction. Greece, chick lit, right? The chick lit has actually been added to the Library of Congress as a genre heading, but it certainly is not geographically subdivided. But on LibraryThing, you don't need to, you don't need to make that decision beforehand. You can do that. So certainly, if someday they add geographical subdivision to chick lit, they will not add romance zombies, right? But there are 156 good candidates for the romance zombies category for your delectation. All right. Here is to circle back to the Maupin book and to things like queer, tags like queer. Here is the tag GLBT, okay, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. Here's the tag LGBT, right? Only difference is the order of the letters. Now, the librarian in you must be screaming, those are the same thing, right? They're synonyms. The only difference is just letters. But the books are different, okay? Not entirely different, but there are a lot of differences. That is to say, the term that people use encodes all sorts of stuff that gets flattened out when you believe in synonyms, okay? Here's queer, right? Here's homosexuality. This is an interesting list because many of the books that are tagged homosexuality are actually, I would label them basically anti-homosexual. So there's books about, so curing your homosexual son and so forth. And the reason is that people who don't approve of homosexuality will use the word homosexuality. And isn't that interesting? The unmarked linguistic term is the one that's used in this context. Okay. Here is sharing, moving up the ladder, and social networking. This is a bunch of LibraryThing users who got together at a book event, and they held up the word, we want collections, so they could force me to make a new feature, which eventually I made. So they have power. Okay. Sharing. LibraryThing members have added more than 1.5 million covers. 210 member-uploaded covers for Harry Potter alone. And you just scroll through this and it goes on forever, okay? And it's not the popular covers because Amazon has those. It's the Albanian edition, and the Serbian edition. And sometimes people will even scan a regular edition. They just want to have their cover with a little ding in the corner, But when you upload a cover, even if it's for yourself because you want the ding, everyone gets the benefit of that, okay? So you do it for yourself, but sharing results from that. Here is social networking. So here's my profile again. LibraryThing has a concept of friends, okay? We have, down here on the right here, you've got member connections. Those people are my actual friends. We have a concept of following, like Twitter, that we call them interesting libraries. So if I want to tell someone I think your library is interesting, I want to follow you, I can do that without using the word friend, which a lot of LibraryThing members don't like that. It's not quite that generation. But a lot of the social action is done through members with your books. And the idea is, if I share 63 books with someone, that has content to it that goes way beyond the sort of binary friend relationships that are possible in Facebook or MySpace or whatever. And it doesn't mean I'll necessarily become this guy's best buddy, but we definitely have something to share. Here's the 64 books we share. And even if I don't want to be this guy's buddy, if I don't want to talk to him, checking out the rest of his library would be very interesting for me. So there's sort of social networking for people who don't like to talk to each other. Here we have a feature called Connection News. So these are all of my friends and interesting libraries and other people. What are they doing? Are they adding books? What are they reviewing? What are they rating books? And I can follow them. I can get an RSS feed. It's a great way to keep on top of what my friends are thinking and doing. LibraryThing, of course, has an entire groups system. The most popular group is Librarians Who LibraryThing, which is actually still only about 1%. There's groups for fantasy readers and mystery readers and everything you can imagine. There's a forum system that's tied to groups, and these are the posts that I've written. I can see all the posts that are going on in my groups. There's a way when you write a message to indicate what books are in it. You just put brackets around the book name. So when I click Your Books, this tends to be slow, but when I click Your Books, I see all the messages that are going on about my books in LibraryThing. So even if I'm not a member of one of these groups, I can see, oh wow, someone's talking about Snow Crash and A Fire on the Deep in this group. I'll go in, I'll join that conversation. So we do social networking, we do conversation, but we're always tying it through the data and emphasizing that the really important thing here is books. Okay. LibraryThing Local is a whole social networking system built around place. So you can see here some of the bookstores, libraries, fairs, and festivals near me. There's a little map here. This is Portland, Maine. In case you ever go there, that's what it looks like. And the blue dots are libraries, and the green dots are bookstores. I actually took a whole lot of pictures of major cities, and you see this pattern over and over, that libraries are distributed, equidistant from each other, spreading out, and bookstores are concentrated in the middle. It's interesting public policy reasons for that, obviously. Here's local members, so I can connect with people. Obviously, this is totally opt-in. Here's a favorite bookstore of mine, Harvard Bookstore in Cambridge, Massachusetts. You can favorite it, so I can find out all the other people who favorited it. There's 64 people. There's upcoming events at Harvard Bookstore. A whole system built around trying to bring people back from the web, this placeless web, and put them in the real world. Here's a library, my favorite library in the world, the Boston Athenaeum, largest private library in the United States. People who favorite that, those people are instantly my friends. Here's Christchurch. It's actually quite well done. I think that most of the bookstores and libraries have been entered by somebody. I don't know who. So there's a couple upcoming events, but not too many. Here's the Christchurch Central Library, and it has a photo. So just all of you guys go home and add a photo to your library on LibraryThing. It'll make the page a lot better. Okay. Explicit social cataloging, whatever that means, and collaborative cataloging. So I'm not going to try to explain this, but this is Dr. Horrible from Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog, video show. Anyway, members managed to catalog his books by doing freeze frames on the DVD, and actually got down to the edition level of the science textbook, which is over here on the left here. So really geeky stuff, but kind of fun. So, okay. So LibraryThing members move to doing altruistic things. So my wife, this is her right here, again, her books are available, and actually Christchurch Library has 3 of the 4, so that's pretty good. Members have combined all of the editions of her book, okay? So she's got editions published in different languages, she's got slightly different titles. Members took the trouble to take the editions and put them together, okay? So this is a very librarian-like activity, right? It's using this, something much like the concept of Ferber, but the advantage